life.
And I'm Candice from Cook's Curiosity. And today we are going to cook a super simple leek soup with only 5 ingredients.
5.
Are you excited?
We're excited.
I'm excited.
Let's
and I'm
get
hungry.
started.
Let's do it. Okay, so we're going to get right into it. So here are the 5 ingredients. First, of course, is leeks. And we're also going to add some red onion, a little bit of garlic, some cilantro, and of course, some broth. So I have 2 types of broth actually, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later when we get to it. So the first thing you want to do is set up everything mise en place. So that means we're going to wash all of our ingredients, we're going to chop it all up, and then once we're all finished, we're going to start cooking. We're going to start by breaking down our leeks, and you don't have to be intimidated. You can just treat it like a giant scallion. So I'm going to show you how we're going to break down our leeks and chop it up so that it's perfect for our leek soup. Ready? Alright. So when you buy your leeks from the store, it's going to be a little bit dirty, but that's okay because it comes from the ground. So the first thing we're going to do is chop the roots off. And you see where the white part is? We're going to chop pretty much all of that right off. And then we're going to take these first 2 leaves and just pull it off. We don't want that. And as I pull it off, you can see that some gross dirt is starting to be exposed. Don't be nervous. Now we're going to take the bottom, we're going to cut it about 3 inches right off the bottom as well. And then the washing comes. When you wash your leeks, you want to make sure that you're separating it and getting all of this dirt out. You don't want to be eating dirt. That's kind of gross. Okay, so we've cleaned our leeks and we've gotten all of the dirt out of all of the layers. And now it's time for us to chop it up. So as I said, it's just going to be like a giant scallion. We're just going to chop little circles, and don't be nervous. You don't want it too thick, you don't want it too thin. We just want little spirals, and we're going to do that for all of our leeks. So you just continue until you've chopped up all of your leeks. Sorry. So I've chopped up all of my leeks, and I also chopped up our red onions, our cilantro, and our garlic. Now, you don't have to go crazy and be perfect with the chopping because at the end of the cooking process, we're going to blend everything together so you won't even notice. So we're going to get our leek soup cooking now, but I just wanted to share one little quick trick with you that I always use in the kitchen, and it has to do with the garlic. We all know that when garlic burns, and it's super easy to burn, that it just smells and tastes gross. There's no saving it. You're going to have to dump it all and start over. So here's a little trick that I always do to make sure that I do not burn the garlic. With my cold pot, no fire on, I put my oil into the pan, and that was just about like 2 tablespoons. And then, still, with the fire off, I put my garlic in. Once I get all of the garlic in, then I turn the fire on. That way, the oil heats up with the garlic, and it lets you know, 1, that your pot is ready to go, and 2, you will never ever burn the garlic. So the garlic is simmering, and in goes the onion. 1 whole onion. We're going to cook that down for about a minute or 2. Let it get translucent and a little caramelized. Then we're going to add the leeks. So the onions are nice and translucent, and in goes all of the leeks.
Look at those leeks, looking delicious.
Ooh, so green. So green. You gotta eat your greens, guys. If you want to look hot, sexy, beautiful, you need to eat green.
Kind of like the Britney Spears song. If you want something, you gotta work this.
Yeah, gotta work. You gotta eat those damn greens. It ain't easy being green. It ain't easy being green. But it sure is. And we're going to cook the leeks for about 10 minutes until it starts to get a little bit soft, and then we're going to add our stock. So as you can see, the leeks cooked up a little bit and they broke down, so now it's time to add the stock. I actually have a little bit of my special stock that I made, bone broth. And if you don't know what bone broth is, it's actually super delicious and super nutritious. And maybe in another video I can tell you how to make it. So I'm just going to put a little bit of my bone broth, but hey, if you're a vegetarian, stick to the vegetable stock. And that is not enough broth, so I'm going to amend that with my vegetable broth. If I can get it open. And get in there. Alright. So, you want to put enough stock to cover up all of the vegetables, and that's about it. Now, I don't know about you, but I love me some seasoning. So if you would like, you can add a little bit of salt and pepper and anything that you like, or you can just leave it as is. I'll add some salt and pepper. So I just kind of eyeball it, but that was, you know, maybe like a teaspoon. And I love black pepper, so I'm going to just throw a ton of that in there. I'm also going to put some dry herbs. We have some parsley. Get a good amount in there, and some thyme, just a little thyme because it's really earthy, and then I like a little heat in anything that I eat, so we're going to put a few red pepper flakes in there. Now you're just going to stir that all up, nice and good, and we're going to let that simmer for another about 15 minutes. Okay, so it's been 10 minutes and you can definitely see the change in our soup. The leeks have gotten dark green and they look just really translucent and nice and soft. That's what we want so that it blends up really well. So now before we throw that in the blender, we're going to add the cilantro, which gives it an amazing freshness and brightness and a kick. So if you like that in your soup, this is going to taste amazing. This is like a soup secret ingredient. I put it in all of my vegetable soups, and I learned that from a chef, and it makes it really freaking awesome. Okay, so we're going to just stir the cilantro in there and let it wilt. And now, I like to add, this is optional again, I like to add a little bit of lime. It gives it a huge freshness, just like the cilantro does. So I squeeze a whole lime inside of there, and no one's going to taste the lime, they're just going to taste freshness. And it's not going to taste so leafy dark green. So if you really don't love your greens, you're still going to love this soup. Alright guys, so it's time for the last step of our recipe. But many of you might have been wondering, where did Chevy go? Well, she's behind the camera with one hand on the camera and one hand on her drink. So she didn't go anywhere, don't worry. So now we're going to add the leek soup into the blender and mix everything together. Now, be careful because if your soup is still really hot, you don't want to burn yourself. Hopefully I won't burn myself. Alright, so I got my really, really hot pot of leek soup. I mean, you could really, if you really want it, you can just eat it like this. It's still really delicious. But if you want to go for a nice smooth texture, pop it in the blender. So nice and carefully, we're going to get all of that goodness in there. And I don't have the biggest blender, so I'm going to have to do this in 2 batches. Alright.
And we almost burnt ourselves.
Oh, shit. Okay, guys, so we're going to put the rest of our leek soup into our blender. You might want to make sure you have a good balance of liquid and solid so that your blender doesn't go crazy and burn you. Alright, so we're going to start by pulsing and then we're going to liquefy. I really hate the sound of a blender whirling, so we're going to have some blender music to cover that up.
Meet me in the hallway, bite your lip when I say, never have you left my mind.
And we're done. So there you have it. Super simple, easy leek soup. You can make this any day of the week, and it's also great as a detox soup. So you want to try it, Chevy?
I think we should dig in.
Alright.
Soup kind of makes them dance. Try it at home, guys. Hope you enjoy it.
Where's my wine?